Video games. Games. Gaming news. This is Perpetual Backlog. I'm Aqua.
I'm Dollet.
Enjoy. And that's Dollet. Or no Leek this week.
Not this week. She's busy.
No. Yeah, man. I was just talking to Dollet about this, but fuck. Are we just? I don't even know how many hours I've put in the Honkai Star Rail.
I don't want to know. I'm sure it's not actually that bad, but it's bad enough that I would genuinely not feel great about myself.
I've put in like half a day's into this fucking game. I've come home from work. I've come home from work and played this game until I went to bed. and everybody knows I don't go to bed until like 10 hours after I get home from work.
That is actually, yeah, that is true. I've been able to play during work time, so I don't know if that's better. It's probably worse, to be honest. But
I mean, I could technically play during work time, but I don't want to destroy my phone battery.
Yeah, it looks like it would be a bit demanding. It would literally be quite a bit demanding, actually.
It is on my phone, and I sometimes I log into it when I'm in bed, like about to go to bed, or like just from waking up to be like I need to get my daily pass in.
Just make sure the Trailblaze power is at 0 and fully refreshing. Gotta maximize that. The joys of it being a turn-based RPG is that, yeah, you can do that. I think that most action games on a phone are ridiculous, but this one lends itself to that pretty well, I think.
Yeah, I'm just log on, be like, oh, I have 160 Trailblaze power. All right, time to go to a Golden Calyx because I need I need leveling up material. Because I'm an idiot, and I actually all of my characters are like either 40 and up. So
over half of my characters are sitting at 0.
Yeah.
I am really good on experience and money. Less good than I was when Zella came home, and Bailu, who I haven't leveled yet, but I'm going to. It's all going to be terribly expensive. So no, I'm in the position now of sitting in Trace Hell for whichever resources I need for abundance and the hunt. So that's seeds and arrows.
Yeah, I know that feel. I I have one more character. I need to get to 60. All right, and then I'll have 4. Or no, then I'll have 8 at 60. All right, so I'll have a semblance of 2 teams, pretty much. Unfortunately, one of those characters is not Bailu, so I might have to go and level her up just so I have a second healer. But I know this game doesn't really actually require you to have a healer in some in fights, because I've seen people go through like harder fights without having a healer at all.
Depends how good are your relics. Are you maxed out on your traces? Are you maximizing damage ability? Otherwise, you're going to get hit at some point. This isn't Genshin Impact. There's no way just to dash through damage.
And so at that point, I'll have 8 at 60, and then I can work on specifically getting traces. And then when that's up to the point of needing to be another, like, go up another equilibrium level, I can then work on relics. Which kills me because I hated artifact farming in fucking Genshin. I hated it so much.
Yeah, I'm avoiding it right now. I just got like, what's the main stat on everything? Is it good enough? Cool, that's to 9. I'll come back to you later. Now let me just focus on the funner parts.
Yeah. It's I mean, it's a gacha game, so I guess gotta take it in strides. But yeah, I mean, I've caught up to the story. I guess I'm just never gonna have a quest ever again because I'm pretty sure I've done every quest in the game. Uh, RIP any quest experience or materials and all that nice
Waiting on
jazz.
1.1.
Yeah, waiting on 1.1, which who even knows when that's gonna be. 'Cause that's not gonna be when Genuine comes out. So, um, that's gonna actually 1.1 might come out because Genuine will last for 21 days. So
Oh yeah, it's
should
gonna
be
be a bit.
should be right after that.
I mean, look, legitimately, fingers crossed, because new information's come out. It's all looking very interesting.
Yeah.
Cannot wait. Enjoying my time for sure.
Want Kafka. Need Kafka.
I
I
want
said this
Kafka.
earlier today.
Need
I am a
Kafka. That's true.
simple man. I see Kafka fan art. I hit like. I hit subscribe. I hit retweet. I hit everything.
MiHoYo
Alright.
designs character, purposefully makes her antagonistic. Not evil, antagonistic. Whole community. Yeah, I like that. I
Down
like
bad.
that in particular.
Down bad. Um, other than that, I'm playing Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Uh, yeah.
I mean, everyone's making it sound like I dodged a bullet. I plan on picking this up regardless. I really, really like the first one, but
I
it's been pretty lukewarm on this one.
Evan apparently beat the game last night. And he had like a lot of good things to say about like the last third of the game.
Oh, thank
Um,
goodness.
where my issue with this game is in Fallen Order, I felt like I got stronger as the game went on. All right. I do not feel like that in this game. I feel like
Oh,
I am as strong as I was when I started it. I may have like some extra stuff or whatever, but it doesn't. If to me, it doesn't make like fights feel any less hard or, any less like I wouldn't even. I wouldn't even say hard. I think a lot of these fights in this game are just way too unbalanced. I'm playing on Jedi Master, so I guess I am playing on like a harder difficulty. I'm playing on that's the second hardest difficulty. All right. Um, but I feel like this game's just not balanced or whatever. And I'm using
is it a thought? Is it like a purposeful decision, or
I said this
no?
earlier to Psycho. All right. Uh, I feel like I'm being punished for being a Jedi in this game.
Is that what they're going for?
I don't know.
Oh no, you hate to hear that.
And I don't know. I I feel like I feel like I'm punished for doing things a Jedi would do, which is go in, hit stuff with the lightsaber because almost every enemy that isn't a normal droid or a normal like just a normal enemy has like 3 to 4 different red unblockable moves that will start up in the middle of an attack. A lot of attacks are a lot of your attacks don't stagger or anything like that. A lot of the parrying does. Sometimes the parrying just doesn't even like parry. Um, and like I said, I played Fallen Order on Jedi Master mode, so I know the parry timing. The parry timing is it's supposed to be the same, but it doesn't feel like it is. Um, I just did. I guess I just did like maybe the halfway through the game boss. I think. Um, Psycho was listening to me while I was doing this fight. This fight took me like an hour to beat. Um,
Woof.
it was annoying as shit. Um, yeah, I don't know. I can't. The story's pretty good. I like the story. The story's all right. And they've put out a couple of patches that have made the game run a bit better on on the PS5. I'm not sure how that works on PC at the moment. I don't recommend playing this thing on anything other than normal. Maybe. I mean, I don't know how it feels like on normal. Like I said it last time, creature enemies or whatever, fuck them. All right, I don't care what you get from beating these. It could be a cool looking cosmetic. It could be a fucking pyrite shard. It could be some extra force power or whatever. Fuck it. All right. If I see an Odogo, I'm saying no. There's no. It's not worth. It's not worth fighting. It's not worth fighting any of these creatures. All right. They're annoying. They have no stamina. All right. They have like four fucking red moves or whatever. One of them usually one shots you. All right. This game literally says play perfect or don't play at all. I feel like this game.
What I'm hearing is get good.
Yeah, pretty much. The boss that I was fighting in like a little bit ago, it had a move where he would dash across the arena, all right, to swipe at you, and the first swipe is blockable, all right. But he immediately does like a twirl move that isn't blockable, all right, but it also tracks. So I assume what you're supposed to do is jump, but you can't block. You can block the first attack, all right, but the first attack normally stuns you, all right. So you can't move after you block the attack. So what you're supposed to do is jump, but he delays his attack long enough to where you're pretty much about to hit the ground when he does the twirl, all right? And the twirl tracks, so he will literally turn on a dime and still hit you with it. It's annoying. I beat him, but it took an hour. And I saved the game and turned the game off after it because I was like, I don't feel like doing anymore.
And now we protect our sanity and put the controller down.
The exploration is pretty nice. All right, that's pretty cool. I think Kobo's honestly too big. think that planet's actually too big. If I had a criticism about anything else, so there is fast travel in this game, but you can only fast travel from a meditation point, and I think that's kind of annoying.
I mean, it's still a step forward from where we were. I will literally take anything.
Yeah, and interacting with the map to fast travel was also annoying. Because if you don't exactly know where you're trying to go or whatever, the map looks a bit different in the fast travel mode. So pretty much what I've had to do is to go into my map, mark where I want to go, all right, and then go to a meditation point to fast travel because the mark will still be on the map when you go to fast travel. So I'll know I'll know around about where the other meditation point is that I wanna do. Still mad that actually, you know what? One of the cutscene that I had after beating that boss or whatever. You know how I said it was that the cutscenes were in the cinematic frame, all right?
Sure.
Like the 24 frames a second or something like that. Yeah. No, this cutscene was like 18. It was worse. I don't understand
Well, that doesn't sound great. How have we gone in the reverse direction of what we should be going?
I don't know. How can I don't know. Respawn fucked up with this game. I don't Respawn fucked up. EA told them to push it out. They probably had to push it out before fucking May 4th because Star Wars Day and all that shit. Disney was probably like, we want this game out and all that shit. Which I mean, delaying games and games not coming out in a very good state was what we'll be talking about a little bit later. Dollet, what'd you do this week?
I also played a whole bunch of Honkai Star Rail because that's just the world we live in now.
Yeah.
Where these last 2 weeks have absolutely just been completely useless to get anything else done in.
Hmm.
Other than that, mostly just a bunch of fighting games. I briefly popped in for Overwatch, but I wouldn't even really count that. It was just for like a couple rounds. For me, I mean, I did some more Tekken, I did some Guilty Gear, and after chatting about it with people last night, apparently I picked up Idle Showdown,
No, I'm
so
sorry.
I will be fighting VTubers. The game's competent. Um, I literally just started digging around with it today, so I don't have much more than that yet. I will let you know next week if I touch it again this week.
But Dollet, the more you play Idle Showdown, the less you'll play Honkai Star Rail.
That's not true. I'm at the point in Honkai Star Rail where I just log in to dump resources and log
Yeah,
out. I'll be
true.
fine, thank you.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm probably gonna do when it comes to Honkai Star Rail. It's like I'm not even gonna try to like do anything else or whatever. If it weekly rolls over, I'll hop in and like do as much simulated universe to where I can get the 7,000 points or whatever and all that shit. Because I have another thing I want to progress. All right, I mean I could when I get 8 characters attempt the like what is it like 11 and up fragmented halls or whatever where I have to have 2 teams or something like that.
Yeah,
I could do that, but I was actually primarily interested in the story, and since I've completed pretty much I have completed the entirety of the story. Uh, um,
yeah. I mean, the game is still really smart in the way it handles a lot of things. It's infinitely better than Genshin was at this point in its
yeah.
lifetime. Maybe Genshin got better. I'm sure it did. I stopped playing. Like the fact that the simulated universe and the other one exists allows
The
for a
halls,
lot of
yeah.
the Forgotten Halls and Chaos. They're fantastic. They allow you to do stuff so you're not resin bound. I
Hmm.
do, however, still feel that they're too fucking stingy with resin.
Yeah,
Like
I'll agree.
140, congratulations, you get to do like 3 things, maybe 4, and you're done for the entire day.
Yeah.
Um, like genuinely, the fact that it's not 200 base is just weird to me. But like again, unlike Genshin, you have other things to do. I just
Hmm.
don't think it's enough for there to be much of a game in between patch cycles for a lot of people. But it wouldn't matter because they've already made like $30 million off of
Oh
sellers,
yeah,
so they're
yeah,
good.
yeah.
They're good. I'm gonna keep at it. It's like at the end of the day, it's a game type that I enjoy. I'll log on, I'll do my dailies, my weeklies, and pop off and do other things. So
You know what they should do. All right, all right,
go on.
and they're not going to do this because it's Mihoyo. All right, so they should just adopt what Arknights does for their daily and monthly logins. All right, just 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 give us just a bunch of random stuff every. I mean, okay, you have the Mihoyo lab or whatever fucking shit that you can like click and get your like piddly
Yeah, but I
one
mean,
meter thing.
honestly, I hate that anyway because I don't like having to go to a website to get my in-game
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I
Not a
have
big
I have
fan of
I
that.
have I have the app on my phone or whatever, so I just click it.
Well, sorry, let me rephrase. I don't like having to use an out-of-app
Yeah,
thing
yeah, yeah.
to get thing for app.
Yeah. Um but they should cuz Arknights gives you a like a partial sanity like they could just give me a fucking fuel a day. A fuel a day. That is it. All right? I could be happy with that. Help attach it to the fucking Welkin Moon bonus pass Star Rail pass thing or whatever that monthly thing or whatever. Just give me a fuel a day. That is 60 resin a day. All right,
It's
that
not
is
complete top-up, which is fair. It's one third, not
yeah,
even.
yeah. Just give me that. All right, a day. I'm fine because I can log in. I can do my shit. I get a free 60. That is like two. That is like two 30 things or like 6 10 things. All right, that I can do, or I could just not use it. Save it up for when I need to go hard hammer down on grinding on something. All right, that's because that's what Arknight does. Arknight gives you like a sanity thing. It gives you like 90 fucking sanity. All right. They give it to you a day. I haven't logged into Arknights in fucking forever, but I know they do that, and their monthly pass thing also gives you a sanity thing. It also gives you an extra sanity thing a day. So I get 2 sanity things or sanity like top ups a day, but it's not a full they're not full top ups. So like they could just do that. That would honestly, I feel like that would clear out most of the whole resin, like not having enough resin bullshit. Because I mean, Arknight stamina process is honestly kind of similar. A lot of the stuff that you farm or whatever takes like 30 to 40 stamina, all right? And at the moment, or yeah, 30 to 40 sanity, and at the moment I only have like 140 something sanity. So, and that's less than what your max Trailblaze power is in Honkai Star Rail. So, it's quite similar. If they just gave you that fuel a day, honestly, I think that fixed it.
I mean, look, at the end of the day, the whole reason they shortchange you on this is so that you use your Stellar Jade to fill up and buy more.
Yeah. But
Everything
you do the
everything
same
can be
thing.
led back to money.
Yeah, I know, but then they let
And
you
this
do the
is
same
this
thing
is
in Arknights too.
again, this isn't yeah, but this is not a MiHoYo thing. This is a gotcha
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. But yeah, but I mean, they could still because that's why despite Arknights not being that much not that interesting gameplay wise, why I like starting Arknights. So they give you this extra stuff. You still can buy your fucking Originite or whatever to top up your sanity if you really wanted to or something like that. And I know people that probably do that a lot. Um, and people would still use their Stellar Jade to top up themselves in fucking Honkai Star Rail. It probably would still be the same amount of people that would be doing it. So I mean, they would. I feel like they wouldn't lose money on it. It would be a net positive. But we all know MiHoYo, they're not the ones to do. I mean, like obviously, when we get to April next year, we're all gonna be complaining that there's no fucking anniversary event because the game.
Apparently, it's a thing they did in Honkai Impact. They didn't play the game, so I don't know for a fact. But people have said that they doted on their Impact audience, so it's entirely possible that it's just Genshin that's going to get fucked in terms of anniversaries.
Maybe, but who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, I wouldn't get excited about it.
Yeah. Is that all? Yeah. You did fighting games. You did.
Yeah, I did fighting. Like,
Yeah.
there really wasn't much to talk about in that regard. I'm just trying to get my muscle memory back and get
Yeah.
into shape again.
Well, Little did not hand us a question this week, so we will not be talking to him for a week. That being
It's
said,
fine.
he's good.
He knew that Leek wasn't here, and honestly, it's just not fair.
Yeah, true. I guess. I mean, that he's probably mad at you because you can play you can 100% Breath of the Wild and not and not
It's true. I look. Like, oh, he's gonna hate what I'm playing next week, but we'll get to that later.
Oh, because you're playing Tears of the Kingdom next week?
I'm absolutely playing Tears of the Kingdom. What?
Why would you play, dude? Like, even though I'm not giving like Jedi Survivor uh a standing ovation for its game or whatever, I would still probably choose to play Jedi Survivor over Tears of the Kingdom. I'm not gonna lie.
I think you're right to do so. I just have a stronger sense of like familiarity with Zelda than with Star Wars. And as much as I like Fallen Order, like genuinely such a good game, I
Mm-hmm.
am a little worried with everything that I'm hearing
Yeah.
for Survivor. So I'm just going to give that a bit of time to cook. There's been patches out slowly but surely. They're fixing everything. So by the time I get around to it, it'll probably be great. Um, I mean, I'm probably going to pick up a lot of this stuff on sale. So
Yeah. Oh yeah, and true. You're gonna have to spend $70 for Tears of the Kingdom anyway, because that's
which
never gonna go on
sucks,
sale.
but it's never going to go on sale. So yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Um.
Hey guys, don't forget to sub to the channel if you're into what you're hearing. While you're down there, remember to like the video as much as we like you. You'll be good now.
Before you get in the news here, there's a one big piece of news, a big piece of news, a big piece of news if you're a Honkai Star Rail fan.
Oh.
Yeah, the Jingwon fucking animated short just released 25 minutes ago.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Well, they've given him quite a bit.
Yeah. Okay, so we just have a topic today. And it's a topic that probably everybody on their I know that everybody and their fucking mother has talked about on YouTube. Anybody that covers video games or whatever. Yeah. So Redfall came out last week.
Sure did.
Dude, everybody loves Redfall. I hear it's great.
Yeah.
I hear
Game
it's
of the year
amazing.
material for
Yeah.
sure.
Exactly. I think when what Ralph said earlier today was measly 31%.
Oh my goodness, is that where it's
Mostly
ended up?
negative. Mostly negative. Yeah.
The last time I saw it was sitting at 60.
Redfall. At least that's what was on his video. Mostly negative 32%. Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Goodness.
But Redfall particularly is not the topic. Even though yeah, we're not gonna talk about Redfall. All right, we're gonna talk about Phil Spencer though. He was on Kind of Funny. That Xbox gaming podcast. Specifically Xbox. They're
genuinely
hardcore
going to be
Xbox
honest.
fans.
I did not know this was a thing until this week.
Yeah, they are.
Did not have a clue.
They were. They are. This is a biased interview. Extremely biased interview.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I mean, they more or less let you know anyway. So
yeah, with Phil Spencer, and he had some very interesting things to say.
yeah, a couple. I mean, more than a couple, but a couple of them were super suspicious. Other ones were. It's weird hearing an executive be so frank.
Yeah, it was very, very candid interview.
Very, very much so, yes.
So, first of all, I'm gonna tell you guys, because we're not like not very good games journalists. Or actually, I wouldn't even call us games journalists at all. Go watch the Kind of Funny interview with Phil Spencer. It's only 40 minutes, and it's very interesting, and I would recommend everybody listen to it because well, I mean, we're just gonna relay some of the stuff that he said here, but it's best to listen to it with your own ears.
Yeah, it's certainly worth hearing it context and all. We are obviously going to do our best not to just gut check, have the worst possible take on his lines, but what you get might be different from what we take away. I know, Aqua, you certainly said you had that with another group.
A few things. Yeah, yeah.
And I did watch Max read through it too, and I thought he was being a bit kind to Phil, but only a bit. I just think there's a middle ground that most of us can get to, and we're gonna cover our bit here.
Yeah. So, the first thing he was asked was about Redfall. No, that's the lie. He was asked about CMA is blocking the acquisition for Activision Blizzard, and he said he was not exactly happy about it. He said,
I don't know if it was just because of the camera, and it was. By the way, come on, my guy, you work for Microsoft. You got to get a better setup. What are you doing? But he looked so angry this whole interview. Not like he's going to yell at someone angry, but someone in a position who knows they can't afford to be vocally angry and just holding it back. I felt like he was just red in the face the entire time.
He went on to say that they've been in talks with the CMA. They didn't fully expect this to happen. They have to get like, I think they said 13 or 14 yeses to go through with the Activision Blizzard thing. They have nine out of the 14 at the moment. Obviously, one of them, the 10th one, the CMA, is obviously saying no. That they will be appealing it, which is obvious, and yeah, I mean that's pretty much all they harped on about that.
Yeah, he obviously wasn't going to tell us anything we didn't already know. We know that the deal fell through. We know why it fell through, and we did know that Microsoft, well, they didn't like that, so an appeal will be launched. What I think was interesting was how he started downplaying the cloud. The reason for the block which was cloud gaming, because this is in fact or just cloud architecture. It should be said it's not really even just gaming, but it should be noted that Max said this. I'm not entirely sure if this is true, but it certainly is in line with the way they talk about other services. That this is something they were hyping up before. And so the sudden turnaround is very interesting to hear about how this probably shouldn't have been enough for the block. And while I certainly am not in a position of knowing if that actually should be enough, it is pretty common knowledge that they are well and truly ahead on this front. I think in terms of architecture, I think the people that they're probably competing with the most is honestly going to be Amazon. But I don't even know if that's in a comparable sense. So
yeah, it was funny because he was like, well, it's we're cloud gaming isn't what we're like really focusing on. When at the beginning of this like fucking thing, they were like, cloud gaming is gonna be good, cloud gaming is gonna be great, blah blah blah.
And to their credit, as far as the way Microsoft does it, they are very good at it.
Yeah, well, they're good at their cloud architecture. Cloud. I mean, yeah, in cloud gaming, I guess they're good. I mean, because we have TVs that you can hook up with the Game Pass, just like smart TVs in general that you can just play video games on. But at least in America, that still the internet infrastructure is not exactly that good.
I mean, I agree with you. I think that unless you're pulling in like an incredible connection, you're probably not that interested in cloud gaming in a real way yet.
Yeah. And then we got into the talk about Redfall. Redfall, obviously, we just said that had very, very middling reviews. I think it's sitting at a 60 on Metacritic, or well, I think it's OpenCritic, whatever that thing that
oh, that's the number I was taking away. Is OpenCritic?
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah. So it's sitting at 60 on OpenCritic. It's 32% right now on Steam. And apparently Phil was really surprised that it was going to get this low of scores, and he goes on to say that that he didn't expect it to be that low.
No, Microsoft produces in-house mock reviews.
Yeah.
Which in-house, I mean, immediately red flags for me.
In-house,
but, what are you going to do? But yeah, they have in-house mock reviews, and apparently this was double digits lower than
Yeah.
those reviews expected.
They were at least
Which
going to get an 80 or something like that. They were at least
I
going to
don't
have an 80.
I
Well,
don't know
if
what
they're
they
if
thought
they're in
they
the
were going to
60s,
get.
yeah.
Let me tell you, I don't know what they thought they were going to get, but it's strange to hear this for several reasons, honestly. The obvious first reason being, well, yeah, of course people in-house are going to lie.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not blaming Phil for this specifically. I have a funny feeling he never touched this game.
Oh yeah, no, definitely.
I don't think it ever made its way up to him. I think he's far too busy at the moment to ever have seen this.
Well,
But
he even said like the Xbox teams didn't even get around to Arcane to work on Redfield. It was actually specifically just Arcane working on it.
this is true. He did mention that I mean, and this is something that we've known for a little bit. Xbox has mentioned they are hands off in a lot of their non-first party alliances, which I guess this technically is first party, but it's complicated.
This is the first party game
From Arcane.
out.
Before that, they were their own thing, and Microsoft seems like they do want to let their devs have some amount of like actual creative control over what they're making. But going back for a second, the mock reviews that were held being so much lower not only should be a red flag to we the players. I mean, we're never going to see it in time, but it definitely should be a red flag to the executives. That means at some point, whoever was actually playing this either A, genuinely thought this was a good product, which is terrifying in and of itself, or B, just passed it and probably didn't actually give it too much credence. They probably just said, their past stuff has been really good. I'll give it a go. They usually score around this much, and then just pass it up the chain to a lot of other people who did a very similar thing. If this doesn't show that they need outside help to just peek in and have a go at it, I don't know what else does. But like genuinely, the fact that this rated so well in house isn't good. Just from someone who's seen people play the game, and admittedly, I haven't myself, but that's because when all of the teaser stuff was coming out, I looked at this game and I didn't want anything to do with it. Matter of fact, I didn't realize this was going to be closer to Destiny than it is to Left 4 Dead.
Almost nobody did.
Yeah, I thought this was just gonna be Left 4 Dead the whole time. I'm like, I don't really feel like it. I'm not gonna pop in. However, when the game came out, I looked at it, and there's a bunch of stuff that you can see is wrong. Obviously, the big one that a lot of people point to immediately without showing anything about the game is that on the box, the game says it ships with 60 frames per second, and they have a big old sticker that they have to put over it that says 30, because it very clearly didn't. So that immediately was going to impact your rating. On top of it, there are myriad lighting issues that I've seen. The enemy density, well, density isn't the right word. That map looks so sparsely populated. I've watched like 7 different content creators run through a map and maybe run into 2 enemies. And when they did run into the enemies, and this is the big one, oh boy, that AI is bad.
Yeah.
So in a shooter game, there is nothing to shoot, and when you do have to shoot at something, A, it dies immediately, and B, there's really not a back and forth there. So from an outside perspective, I look at this game and think this game was never going to score more than like a 60, 70 to me. I mean, honestly, I would have cut this off at the knees. I would have kept it at a 40 because I think it looks horrendous as well. But I don't know. Like to hear that in-house this game was seen as a success is nuts.
Yeah. And that's pretty much where we get into like the first big red flag in this interview. Phil Spencer was asked about when it comes to like reviewing the games in house and realizing there might be some stuff wrong with it, that like what goes into them delaying it. All right.
Yes. This was all very important.
And um he mentioned he's like, if we go through the game or whatever, there's a myriad about amount of bugs and stuff like that, a lot of like technical stuff. Then we're open to delaying it. All right. And they would normally do that because they did it with
Sure.
Starfield, they did it with Redfall at one point in time, they did it with Halo and all that stuff. All right, that's fine. All right. But then he got into talking about like when it deals with the creative vision, um, they're not open to delaying it if they don't feel like the studio has met its creative vision for the game. And
Well, go ahead.
I don't know if I agree with the creative vision being the problem with this game.
Oh God, no! It's technical. It's technical challenges, 100%. I think you're absolutely right.
Yeah, and that's like the first big red flag I see from Phil or whatever, because the problem isn't the creative vision of this game. There are people that I have seen like play this game or whatever that have said uh everything else in this game is actually pretty all right. It's like it's an okay, like it's an okay game when you take out that there's like no enemies, and um there's a myriad of amount of performance issues and all that shit, that it doesn't run at 60 and all that crap. They see what Arcane was going for with this game or whatever. Like the person on Gigaboots that was playing the game, he goes, I could see myself playing this game a lot if it wasn't for the fact of like all this like technical shit that is wrong with this game. All right. And he normally doesn't give horrible creative vision games a chance that much. All right. And so I kind of find it weird that Phil would say that it was a creative vision that was the issue, when almost everybody doesn't care about the creative vision, because like, I mean, it's Destiny, but vampires. I mean, that's okay, and like it's
So, I definitely don't. So here's the thing. I don't think Phil is wrong in the sentiment of the sentence. I think Phil's talking a whole lot of shit in the context of the situation. Like, I don't think
Mhm.
this is actually something that you're right. I agree with you. I don't think this is something to worry about conception, or sorry, the concept of the game for Redfall. Um, the words he chose to use were all good words in a different circumstance. Like, essentially. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
no, sure, if a game just doesn't meet its concept, it's probably not going to be good, and there's no amount of delaying that's going to fix it that's ever going to make money. And that second half of that went unsaid, but that's what is meant. They can't delay something that is just fundamentally not going to work, because
Mhm.
it just means they spend more money to make less money.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's A, not the issue here, and B, that can be avoided.
Yeah.
That can
They
be
could have made
avoided
this game
by,
work.
well, no, not even that. That can be avoided by having an outside person from the parent company come in
Yeah.
early
Yeah.
and say, "Hey, okay, I feel what's going on. I like the new approach. This is new for you. I dig it, but also, it's feeling kind of like trash."
Yeah.
Um,
And
in
I
this
understand.
instance, like, genuinely, they should have bit the bullet. They should have hired like 3 or 4 professional, like, Destiny folk. I don't even know if there are professionals for Destiny, but like really highbrow streamers, and force them to sign an NDA, and if they break it, sue them into the
Yeah.
ground, obviously, and just get honest feedback. Because I think if anyone sees this at any point in the life cycle of the game, they point out the obvious things. Maybe they say like, "Oh, the lighting's kind of crap," but they'll fix that later on. But the enemy AI, the gunplay, and the map, the sparsity of creatures on the map are
Mhm.
easy to pick out. Also, we follow two very different groups because the people I saw play this, they weren't as happy with this game in any way, shape, or form. They didn't like the puzzles. They didn't like the gunplay. There was a lot to not like about this game. I think, like, of the 7 I know, 5 of them picked the sniper, and that class kind of
Oh yeah,
fights with itself
pretty sure he didn't pick the
too.
sniper.
Yeah, like a bunch of them, like this class fights with itself in its class building.
Mhm.
So there's just a lot of things here that, and it's easy to say this now, I think could have just been caught pretty
Yeah.
early on if you bring in a pair of fresh eyes. And obviously, the reason I say to bring in 3 or 4 people isn't to do it early and have them with the project the whole time, because then they stay stale too. You bring them in at different, you bring different people in at different parts of the timeline and make sure that it's going smoothly. I mean, frankly, it doesn't even need to be like big pro gamers. I genuinely think a layman from like higher ups in Microsoft might have seen this. I think the issue here was they were so hands off.
Yeah, and that, I mean, and that comes with like what Phil was talking about, because he said they let their developers do what they want or whatever.
And it's worked. It's worked a couple of times. Look at Tango
Yeah.
GameWorks, Hi-Fi
Yeah.
Rush. If you had told me that Tango was making a rhythm-based action game, I would have told you to shut that shit down immediately.
Yeah.
I would have said
Yeah.
no, 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 no. Or if they do sell it, that needs to be like a $20 indie experience. You can't sell that. It's never gonna work. Beautiful. What a goddamn game that was.
Yeah.
So I understand when Arcane says, "Yeah, it's still first person. It's a shooter this time." That everyone at Microsoft goes, "Yeah, all right. This is kind of still their thing. They'll probably be fine." But I just, a little bit of oversight goes a long way, I think.
Mhm.
But then again, I feel that about a lot of my favorite devs. Like I've said it a bunch of times. Kojima goes too far religiously, and he needs someone to step in and tell him no a lot of the time. So I think that's true of most people. Like, you can't leave people to their own devices. Artists are brilliant, and their minds work in very different ways than ours do. And sometimes they need a normie to step in and remind them that we all don't follow them.
Yeah. But yeah, he was like, you know, he knows Arcane does good stuff, and that, he was like, he's making Redfall. They're like, okay, yeah, you can do that. I mean, we're okay with that or whatever. But the big issue is that they definitely needed better internal testing, or they definitely needed to bring in people to actually give them feedback, and not like, yeah, totally, this is an 8 out of 10 game, guys. 8 out of 10 games, great, it's amazing. The person I followed that was playing the game or whatever, he was more happy that, because like the world, the map for Redfall, pretty big. It's set in a Midwestern town. It's about vampires and all that stuff. He's like a lot of the stuff that they put in the game he liked or whatever, but like it was just riddled with like a bunch of stuff that he didn't like, and that he said, if all that stuff was just fixed or whatever, this could have been a game that was like, that could have been easily like maybe an 80 or an 8 out of 10. But
I don't know, man. A lot of the issue with this game, like a lot of it's going to come down to it being $70. I think.
Oh, yeah.
I think if this is this is an experiment for Arcane, which is fine. I don't think it's wrong for devs to finally get to do something other than what they're known for. But like, this needed to have the experimental price of like $40. This needed to not be shipped out the door in a knowingly fucked state for the new normal of 70.
Yeah.
A new normal that people are not used to yet.
Yeah.
And every time you ask someone to buy something for $70, they are now expecting a new higher standard than anything that came out for 60, because this is a premium.
Yeah. I think
and
I
it's
think the moment you had to put a sticker over the 60 FPS to make it 30 FPS thing, you knocked the price down immediately.
my hot take is even before that. Like if you're going to allow someone to experiment like this, you just have to make the you have to take the hit and understand that like this is an experiment, and the experiment is clearly not going to be the guaranteed success that they are known for. We knock it down. We take a chance. Maybe like this game also feels like it wasn't funded as well as usual. So
Mhm.
you obviously put less money into it. Fair, fine. I mean, Arcane games always look a little scuffed. That's just their aesthetic. So fair. Um, so you put less money into it there, and you just sell it for slightly less, $40.
Mhm.
That's still more than half the price of a AAA release. I just like I do not blame anyone who paid $70 for the experience I've watched people play through and be mad about. I think that's
Yeah.
entirely fair.
Yeah.
Like I just even for $40, there would still be a lot of hate, but I think it would be tempered with understanding, and understanding you're not going to get for essentially grabbing almost $100 off someone.
Mhm. Um we went on to get asked about how last year they had the 12-month game plan, which he candidly said, yeah, we did not deliver on that.
At least he knows.
Yeah. He was talking about how he there's no communications on lots of upcoming titles in the studios. For the studios that they know about. Says, you know, eh, lessons have been learned about transparency. Um, and they need to show real representative footage of what console players are going to play, and not what IGN when they had 60 FPS PC footage.
I mean, is playing the PC version even an advantage nowadays?
Yeah, who
So many of
knows?
those things launch borked beyond all belief.
Yeah. He was asked about the showcase that's coming up. He's very excited, very enthused about showcase finally for people to see, the AAA games that are going to be released every quarter from pretty much now on. Um, he calls out Starfield, Forza, Hellblade, Vowed. That you know, he's seen those games. Apparently they're in a good place at the moment. Um,
Certainly hope so.
Uh, then he talks about they need to improve engaging on games already in production, because they dropped the ball when it came to Redfall. They need to get their teams into these studios to make sure that games are going as well as they should be.
Correct.
He said they're already doing a better job with Starfield, which is fucking hope. I hope.
Well, Starfield has to be good. There's too much on the line for
Yeah,
that to
to
fail.
win.
Even
Yeah,
before this, even
yeah.
before Redfall being the absolute untouchable, like very possible major knife in the back of
Mhm.
Xbox, now it gets even more difficult.
Yeah.
That
Um.
said, a lot of people assume that it's going to be not great just because of previous um, Bethesda games. I assume this was
Mhm.
going to be fine. It's like I don't expect this to be like knock my socks off, but I expect this game to be a functional game with a pretty
Yeah.
good Bethesda story.
I feel like this will not be any worse than Fallout 4. All right. And I actually kind of enjoyed Fallout 4 when it came out. I played a lot of Fallout 4 when it came out. So, that's fine by me or whatever. This is just going to be Fallout in space, which is cool because I like space and all that jazz. Um, Starfield has its own like showcase type thing coming up soon. They will reveal the FPS for Starfield soon. In that showcase. So
Todd, you better say and ship the right number. Oh
yeah.
boy.
But then he, got talking about like, the Xbox brand in general, about who their actual competitors are and stuff like that. He goes, it's really hard to be in third place, in a when against two companies that are and I'm pretty sure he made like he says making shady underhand deals to get exclusives and all that stuff. And apparently Xbox
He
is
didn't
about
say it as such, but
yeah, he's
he
shady.
did point out that Sony has absolutely established um established bloody first party, not first party,
Mhm.
third party exclusivity with several
Yeah,
companies.
yeah. And he said that he keeps hammering on that he's like, even though he's talking about being in third place against like Nintendo and Sony or whatever, he still hammers down that that they don't view Xbox being in competition with them. It's all about they just want gamers to be able to play games anywhere. Um, which I guess still hammers on that they're all about cloud gaming, because that's like literally the spokes like the fucking phrasing for cloud gaming is play anywhere. Um,
It's yeah, it was weird listening to this.
yeah,
Um, like it was, first of all, it was strange for any executive of any of the companies to acknowledge the placement in the console wars.
yeah,
Uh, like, so for Phil to come out and literally say we lost, fucking what weird bizarre world do we live in where they are allowed to say this thing? But also, I mean, he's not wrong. Like, people are gonna hate this. Like, I don't like. I have a PS5, but I also have a PC. And whilst I'm never really gonna pick up an Xbox box, I have a PC so I can play the Microsoft titles. I don't give a shit. Microsoft has not put out a winning strategy this console cycle, and a lot of that has been known to everyone for a long time. But I did not think, not for a moment, they would come out and admit it. Moreover than that, that we would see grumpy Phil sit there and explain why. He goes on. Actually, I'll let you get there in a second because I'm sure you have more to say on this topic.
well,
But
I mean,
yeah, no, this
I was just gonna like be like, I mean, apparently Xbox doesn't just need to make good games.
yep, there it is. He went on to say that out loud, which A implies that he knows the games that they've put out are terrible, which is a wild thing to
Yeah,
admit. Despite that literally being 40 minutes of what this was. But then also to say that making good games wouldn't inspire people to pick up a console, because in some ways, sure, it's now 2 or 3 years into this generation, depending on when you were able to get anything, and odds are you're established where you are. But also, you don't know that, Phil. You don't. Maybe I don't know. Maybe if Microsoft put out a game a year ago that was worth having, maybe you would have swayed some people. Maybe people would pick up, perhaps not your flagship Xbox One X, but maybe they pick up the One S. Maybe they would integrate themselves more into the Xbox uh, community. I don't know what it's called.
yeah, that's pretty much it.
Not having any major games to hold up your product is absolutely what's hurt you this much. And maybe one game, maybe just one game wouldn't be enough to change anyone's mind. True, but it would at least be the start to people taking Xbox seriously.
Yeah,
Because up until now, I've been saying Microsoft
yeah,
because I'm interacting with the Microsoft store. Xbox itself, like, Xbox needs some wins, and I think Xbox getting some wins would actually shift units. Now, he's right. They've lost this generation.
they lost last
They,
generation too.
I which is strange that they weren't able to be. They had a strong start with this generation with Game Pass, but we understand now something we didn't understand then, in that that's not the biggest win. That's not as big a win as we thought it was. It's not yet fully profitable, and like to go on and just have Halo Infinite come out and it be, is it a flop? It's at least not a clear win. And then for your next big release, to be Redfall a year later and have nothing in the interim, and have that fail too, is miserable. And like, yeah, this strategy isn't going to win over anyone. But if Starfield comes out and it's good, if Redfall comes out and it's good, if Silk Song isn't first party. Point is, if you make another first party title and it's good, people will start consider maybe Xbox isn't out yet. Maybe I get an Xbox One S. Maybe I get Game Pass. Maybe I get something. Maybe we start allowing Xbox to crawl back in, because right now, with what's being shifted, it's perfectly realizable why you're in the position you're in, and you literally know it. And it's strange to hear you say it, but hey, just because you say it doesn't mean that you're going to be better about it. We got to see something come out of it.
Yeah, like if if Halo Infinite came out and it was good, all right, you know, if the only game in the past couple of years, all right, that came out for Xbox, were all to the like quality as fucking Forza Horizon 5, all right, and maybe actually not maybe, we would be in a different, because he goes on to say creators want to build games that players can play in many places. No, that nobody wants to just play a fucking a computer game on the corner of their street or whatever. They don't want to play games in many places. They want to play games on the hardware that you shipped out to them, and it work.
Correct.
And it be good. Creators want to build games that players want to play. All right, not that players want to pay $70 for. All right, I don't give two shits where they play it at. They want to play it.
Yeah, I think the idea of like that mobile Xbox atmosphere that he was bringing up, I think that's putting the cart before the horse. Yeah, you need to put something out on the hardware that was promised at the quality that was promised.
And he goes on to talk about how, like, you know, gamers talk about how they want to go back to the days of every time a new console comes out, it's like a reset, and you know they can't really do that anymore. I'm like, what do you mean you can't do that anymore? Nintendo's been doing that for fucking how long? All right,
exactly.
Every time a new console comes out, say goodbye to whatever came out before, because you have this, and people fucking flock by the billions to go fucking
what is bizarre,
crazy for Nintendo.
The most bizarre about this statement is that Xbox has that capacity. It has the capacity to bridge generations. It's the only one that does. You can't do that on PS5 natively. You have to go and buy their PS Now and like do all that backwards.
And Xbox stopped doing that.
Oh, did they?
They stopped.
It's not native anymore.
No. You can still do backwards compatibility stuff or whatever, but they stopped adding games to it.
That's a mistake. That was something that I never had a retort to. Like when people ask me,
they were winning in that market.
Yeah. When people asked me why I preferred Sony versus Xbox, I could give a bunch of reasons. But when they said backwards compatibility, I always, every single time, had to tip my hat to Xbox, because that is so powerful. That seems more customer forward than anything else, because that means you don't expect me to now pay $70 to buy this game that I bought 10 years ago.
Yeah,
I get to continue experiencing it. And maybe you do remake the game again and you add shit and I'll buy that version, but I can still play this thing that I've already bought. That was such a powerful thing.
The Xbox
now
One
everyone else is restarting every console cycle. You were the only one who wasn't, actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
Enjoying the video? Remember to like and sub. Helps out the channel a bunch, and we're grateful for everyone we get.
And the Xbox One X is actually still the best place to play Final Fantasy 13 or whatever.
Is it?
Yes, it is. It is the best fucking console to play. Final Fantasy 13 runs like shit on the on PC. It doesn't. You can't get it. You can't get it to as high as fidelity as you can on a PlayStation, because you want to know why? Can't play Final Fantasy 13 on the later consoles or whatever because it's a PS3 game.
PS3 game, yeah, of course.
All right, but you can play it on the One X because it's backwards compatible, and you can play it in 4K because it's backwards compatible. All right,
That is actually nuts.
all right. Games like that, Lost Odyssey is people can still play it on the One X because of the backwards compatibility.
Yo, quick aside, can we get a Lost Odyssey on Game Pass or anything that isn't an Xbox console? I desperately want to play that game.
Infinite Undiscovery, can we get that, please? I want to play that game.
I want to play this game.
Eternal Sun. Actually, no, never mind. I have my PS3 for that. That is actually the best way to play Eternal Sun is on PS3. So, that is that's as far as I'll go there on that one. It just baffles me. Like this is the main part about this, is that he goes on to talk about how, they can't do this. They can't make good games. Good games aren't going to make turn Xbox around. That, how does that thinking even work or whatever? What the fuck is PlayStation? What is Sony's doing? What is Sony doing? Sony's making great games. Why are they winning? Because they're making great games.
People gave Phil a lot of crap for this interview. In a lot of ways, he didn't deserve it. This was a weird take. This was one of the few times that even I was in there going, Jesus, you're going to get crucified for this. And rightfully so.
Yeah, and I agree with him, all right? So, I don't care how good Starfield is, all right? Starfield could be like one of the best games ever. It's not going to make people sell their PS5 to get an Xbox or...
No, and that's entirely true. No one game is going to do that.
I agree with that. One, you don't have to say it or ever.
True, true. You should be saying nothing but positive things about that game right now.
You should just be gassing up Starfield or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Because if you really believe that it's going to be a good game, you should probably gas it up. And I mean, I guess he's saving the gas up for whenever the showcase is for it. But I mean, I agree with them on that one. All right, one game isn't going to get somebody to sell their PS5. All right, you should also not be trying to get people to sell their PS5s. All right. If you cared about gaming or whatever, you know that people want, if people want to play games in any place or whatever, obviously people are going to want a PlayStation because they can play PlayStation games on the PlayStation. All right. You want them to play games. You want to. I understand it's a competition, but you also don't want people to sell their PS5s to do that, because then what do you have? Xbox has nothing. All right.
The biggest failing of that sentiment is actually, people weren't going to sell their PS5s because Starfield is good, because PlayStation has first party games. To your credit, because you're right, your main goal should be get them to also pick up an Xbox.
Yeah, because you have good first party games.
Presumably you will have good first party games. Now, I'm not 100% about that yet, because you've given me no reason to be.
Mm-hmm.
But that is the true benchmark. And I guess he's right. Yeah, no one is going to sell the PS5, but no one, that's never been a case. No one has ever sold. No one sold their PS2 for an Xbox. No one sold their goddamn Wii U for a 360. No, they had that and the Xbox product. So that's just a really weird talking point. I get the concept of what he was saying, but even then, why? What are you doing? You didn't need to say it to begin with.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, you really need to stop drawing strong comparisons to any competition, because usually people would at least be able to point at Nintendo going, yeah, well, at least we're not them. Nintendo's blowing everyone out of the water right now.
Yeah.
With occasional bursts of life from Sony, from anything first party, from God of War to I'm sure Spider-Man's going to go absolutely fucking nuts, and Final Fantasy.
Ratchet and Clank.
Final Fantasy might as well be a first party at this point.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So like,
Sony should just, I mean, Sony should just fucking buy Square.
It's just what it is right now. No, I don't want them to buy Square. I want there to be a chance for their stuff to show up on everything. But I mean, at the moment, it does feel like a first party. I understand how people make that mistake.
Well, but Square just doesn't want to make stuff for Xbox, though.
Yeah, I guess not. I guess I really come.
Seven remake didn't come on Xbox. I can guarantee you, fucking 16's never gonna. 16 will come to PC at some point in time, but that. So, yeah, I mean, 7 remake, but
at the moment, for all the money that Microsoft has thrown at truly very good development teams, they've not produced anything. And I certainly am not calling for Microsoft to get out whips and start really fucking grinding out their development teams until they are nothing but dust and ash. But something needs to come out. Like, they need a win. I think I almost call it Starfire. I think not Star Citizen. What is it called? Help me out. Starfield. I think Starfield will be a good game. I think it will be. I think it has the potential to be the number one of many things going forward. But you're going to need to do something. Stop trying any comparisons. Hunker down. Get back into that momentum that you had way back in the 360. Put out good games. Get some first party stuff going that Sony and Nintendo cannot replicate. Otherwise, Microsoft's gaming division will likely be pared down.
Don't announce games that are likely not even to come out this generation.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. God damn, that is not a Microsoft exclusive problem. Yeah, in general, don't do that.
Yeah, but almost all of the games that they have announced, like where the fuck's Hellblade at? Where the fuck's Fable at? Where the fuck is Perfect Dark at? Where is Avowed? Like,
oh god,
why did they even show Elder Scrolls 6 when it was going to take so long to get Starfield out?
So that one I will grant you every day. I don't think announcing both those Bethesda titles at the same time was a good idea. Matter of fact, it obviously wasn't, because we know we're not seeing Elder Scrolls for what, 4 or 5 more years at this point, maybe only 3. Hellblade, I think, was originally always just there to be a tech demo, so I won't give them too much on. But literally everything else you said is spot on. Which is to say nothing of going back. And these are just announcements. And then you have to be transparent in a way that is true. Because that, admittedly, very hype section of the showcase last year, where you said all of these games were coming out in 12 months or less.
And they didn't.
That was super hype. It's like, oh my god.
I was like, Starfield's coming out in 12 months? Oh my god!
It was like, man, Game Pass about to be busting. What?
Yeah.
Xbox is about to actually have some firepower. 12 smash cut to a year later. So Redfall finally came out. And
so we only have Hi-Fi Rush.
Well, Hi-Fi Rush wasn't even on that.
Yeah, I know. That's the thing. It wasn't even on it. It's like, when we only have Hi-Fi Rush.
Like, and don't get me wrong, I've just spoken a whole lot of shit. Hi-Fi Rush is actually your first step in a good direction. That game was monstrously good. Just keep it up, keep it coming. I enjoy dunking on all of the companies. I enjoy dunking on Sony when it does repeatedly stupid shit. I enjoy dunking on Nintendo because it religiously does anti-consumer stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna not dunk on Xbox because they're in last place. Do better. Like, the 360 was crazy good. I think like, in my head, that's peak Xbox.
Can you imagine the the situation we're in right now, where 16 was announced 3 years ago, and we're getting it in a month.
Don't even get me started on Sony. Look, I'll bang on about how bad Microsoft is about this. The fact that this game's coming out inside of 5 years from its announcement is wild. 15 took
Yeah.
a decade. Fucking
Yeah.
Kingdom Hearts 3 took a decade. It's
Final
nuts.
Fantasy VII took a decade.
We saw a tech demo way back on the PS3.
Yeah.
Like, granted, they said out
No,
loud that wasn't a
PSP.
game, but
PSP. It was in Crisis Core, remember?
no, they did a tech demo, a strictly technical demo for the PS3 using the bombing run.
No,
Like
that
that
was
opening sequence with the train. That
Yeah,
was not
that
for
was-
the PSP.
that was on Crisis Core, bro. That was after beating Crisis Core. Pretty sure we got that. Pretty sure we got that at for on the PSP. I'd have to go back and look at it.
All right. I mean, I guess I'll
I mean, same
thing.
thing.
Point of
PSP and the
fact is,
PS3 are the same thing.
people asked for this, and they. I'll give it that whatever the tech demo was. Yeah, you said that wasn't a game, but then we all knew you'd been working on one, and
Yeah.
it was great. And these were all great. Well, all but 15 were great when they came out, but too long. Like I'm still always of the mindset of fuck investors. They do not get to dictate when you announce a game, because that's what's going to ruin your sales. I can't even say that because I'm sure 15 sold absolute gangbusters.
Oh no, 15 sold a lot. It was actually very lucrative.
Like, still don't do it. Just like 3 years. I still think 3 years is too long, but I understand that I am just wrong about that.
I mean, I can be okay with, it's like 3 years is pretty much the maximum. All right.
Look, I so desperately wanted to cap out at 24 months.
No. Actually, the standard should be what Monolith Soft did with fucking with Xenoblade.
Oh yeah, we're gonna announce for X amount of time. Oh, by the way, we're just gonna knock it up 3 months because we're finished and it's super good and nothing's coming out. Fuck it, we'll do it right now. Let's go.
Fucking announced in February, released in September. Oh, by the way, we're actually releasing in July. Like,
Dot. Wait. Crap. What?
That should be the standard. Yeah, no. That's pretty much it for this interview. It's I implore everybody to listen to it because I'm sure we didn't like exactly like get everything across.
It should be said that we are kind of focusing on the negatives because the negatives are so wild in this one. Phil does a lot of damage control in this, and I do not regret being an outsider watching this. I cannot imagine being in Phil's shoes, coming on, assuming Redfall was probably going to come out and do pretty well, have a nice bunch of things to say, get everyone jazzed up for Starfield, and then march off. Instead, he's now having to defend his position, defend Microsoft, and answer for one of the worst reveals all year. So, he plays.
He was a bit self-deprecating in this interview too, because he even was like, "Because I get paid too much for my position."
Yeah, that's a weird thing no one should ever say. Like he's just trying to.
But
look
does
human
he? He has a shitty camera.
Again, I don't know how much he's getting paid. It's clearly not enough. Whatever. But no, I feel for the guy. Like he's having to come out and run damage control during quite possibly the worst time they've experienced since ever, maybe.
Yeah.
Like it's not a great time, and it should also be noted that Xbox has actually done very well under his guidance otherwise until this cycle. So I think there is certainly a place for him. I've seen a lot of people get really salty and start wondering maybe they should fight. No, he's fine. Once Microsoft gets their bearings, they'll do better. For now, the entire Microsoft upper structure needs to reevaluate how hands-off they want to be.
Yeah. I don't know if I agree with the Xbox being has been in like completely good hands with Phil since he's gotten in. He's been in since 2014, and Xbox hasn't exactly been that good for the past 10
Maybe
years.
I am being kind. I don't know. I'd have to double check.
Yeah, it's kind of gone downhill. There hasn't been a revolutionary like Xbox game to come out since then. Like Halo's been shit pretty much since then. Um, and Fallout 4 was okay, I guess. Uh, Skyrim came out before he came in, so yeah, who knows, man? I don't know. I, I'm gonna be honest here. I don't know. I don't know if Phil will stay will stay fucking CEO for a while. He might get pushed out because it has not been good. If Starfield does shit, I could probably guarantee you he's gone. I think Starfield's probably his last saving grace.
Maybe. I mean, like, if they axe him after that, I'll be honest, I certainly wouldn't be surprised, but... Woof.
Yep. Yep. But that's all we're gonna talk about today. It's good. It was a nice hour and 20 minutes. What are you doing this week, Dollet?
I mean, there will be more Honkai because I am that person.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's just my life now.
Yep.
And
Same.
I mean, Tears of the Kingdom's going to come out, and I'm going to pick it up. And I'm going to put too much time into that game. Like, I am devastated that my workflow has been so impacted by the people I work with not being in a good position. But also, I am kind of happy work has been shit because that means I'm going to have pretty much all of this time to myself.
Tears of the Kingdom's in 2 days.
Look, all I'm saying is if you're not jazzed about this game because you think it's DLC, I understand. By the way, again, I should point out, I genuinely do believe Breath of the Wild is a 7 out of 10 game. God damn, I love me some Zelda, and that last trailer was so good. If that is at all representative of this game, it might still be a 7 out of 10, but I'll enjoy my time with it.
Well, thankfully, I have no games coming out for quite a long time, a month at least. So I have all the time in the world to get through Jedi Survivor, at least story wise. Honestly, when I beat that game, because I was going to say if, but I'm going to have to beat this game. When I beat this game, I'm just going to set it down and be like, okay, well, that was the time, I guess. Or unless that last third, Evan said that last third was really good, so maybe I'm blown away. But if it continues on with how this last boss was, I'm just gonna be annoyed.
Okay, so the gameplay might not be up to what you want, but the story's still good at least, right?
Yeah, it's engaging. I like it.
Okay, cool. Because I'm gonna be honest, these are some of my favorite characters in Star Wars now.
There was a really cool set piece that I went through. It was probably one of the coolest things I've ever seen. Back on the desert planet or whatever. It was really cool. Like, I was like, holy shit, this was really cool. But and I mean, like, so, like, the fighting against like certain people is cool and all, but like sometimes like I said, you know how in Fallen Order there were upgrades that like increased your lightsaber damage and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There's not any in this game. All right. All of the lightsaber nodes are just moves. There no increased damage or anything like that. And I feel like there should be if you're if you're separating all the trees between with the different types of lightsabers that you're using or whatever.
Yeah, I did see that, and I was worried that maybe I wouldn't engage with half of what they have in that game.
I'm honestly tempted to remove all my skill points again and to just go into single and then dual bladed stance, because the cross guard's kind of cool or whatever, but it is like wielding like a broadsword, or like
It's like Kylo Ren's thing, right?
Yeah, it's like you have to two-hand it. It's slow. It does do like more damage. But it's I don't know. I like the dual wielding is pretty much what got me through this last boss, because
Hey, then lean into what you like. Just like buff the crap out of that. It sounds like.
But it's not buffed or whatever. It's just nothing but moves or whatever. It's like moves are not important. All right, the moves are not important. All right,
that's fair.
They don't really do that much. I can't really do some of these moves when the boss that I'm fighting is constantly attacking or whatever. And when there's like barely any openings to do it, like the one thing that the dual blades does do, that you hold triangle, it puts you in like some like force state or whatever. You sit there, and when the guy attacks you, if it's not a red move or whatever, you instant parry him, and you go into like a combo attack. But I feel like I'm doing chip damage. All right, so like that doesn't really. It'd be cool if it like I was doing more damage, but it doesn't feel like I'm doing more damage. I'm just seeing like little pieces of the health bar going away. Fuck creatures in this game. I'm pretty much at the point that I see a creature, I'm just say I'm not, like, unless I'm forced to fight it, I'm not fighting it. All right, I don't care if I get a pyrite thing or if I get like a data disc that maybe like I can unlock some perks or something like that. There are perks in this game. I haven't found too many of them. Some of them are cool. Some of them are like I would probably not really ever use. Fuck, I might go back to the single blade with the blaster or whatever, because that one was actually kind of cool, and I could do some stuff with it. But yeah, I don't. Anyway, yeah, I don't have a game coming out until fucking 16. All right. Because I'm not playing what is it, Street Fighter. I might play this beta that's coming out.
The beta is coming up. This is true.
But I mean, I'm not gonna pick up Street Fighter, so but yeah. So I have a month to beat Survivor, and I do daily shit in Honkai Star Rail. I have other games I haven't beaten. I still need to beat fucking Atelier Ryza 2, so maybe I'll pick that back up or something like that. Actually, I am playing the Division off and on. Division 2. It's been kind of fun alone.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I would definitely like some friends to play that, but I understand that Tears of the Kingdom's coming out, and all my dumb Nintendo friends are going to be playing that. Because yeah, fuck it, man. I hate being a good gamer.
I am trash.
But yeah, that's me. That's all I'm doing this week. You already said what you're doing, right? Yeah, Tears of the Kingdom.
Sure I have.
Yeah. Yeah, if you made it this far, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Leek will most likely be here next week. All depends. Maybe. Hopefully.
Look, one of us has to be responsible. Thank you,
true.
Leek, for taking the bullet for us.
Yeah,
we miss you. Can't wait to have you back.
Yep. But yeah, hit that subscribe button. If you hit that subscribe button, maybe Leek will come back.
Could be. Entirely possible.
I know she's the favorite on the podcast, so like, come on, guys.
Certainly my favorite.
But yeah, we'll see you guys next week.
Bye now.
Before you go, remember to like, comment, and sub to us. Not only does it help out the channel and let us know what you're into, but it also makes you 100% cooler than everybody else. I checked with Aqua. It's definitely true.